Hey, let's just do a little bit of recognition first of all, because it took some wonderful people and wonderful enterprises in this room to bring together this day in such a special way. And I'd just like to once again recognize, and you've seen them on the tables as well, recognize the Maryland marketing partners that brought it all together today for us. Whiting Turner, Trade Point Atlantic, McCormick, Howard Hughes Corporation, Transamerica, Medco, Peterson Companies, Legg Mason, T. Rowe Price, Kelly & Associates, Merritt Companies, Donahoe, the Bazzuta Group, Clark Construction, Ellen & Tucker, Miles & Stockbridge, M&T Bank, Harkins Builders. Please give them a really great hand again. And then we had some wonderful additional sponsors today just to recognize. North American Millwright, WBAL, 98 Rock, Baltimore Business Journal, Washington Business Journal, DK Consulting, and ZMB Media. Thank you to both groups so much for being part of this today. I appreciate it. Let me take just a few minutes to maybe to echo a little bit of Governor Hogan's remarks, a little bit of Arnie's remarks, and just things that we've talked about for the last 27, 28 months as to what are we doing different to try to be special. And I just want to share quickly some of those things with you. And I know so many of you, and we've been together, and you've heard me talk about them, but this is such a wonderful opportunity just to reinforce some of those messages that we're trying so hard to carry out every single day. One of the things is I start off often, I'll say to a large group, we're a small group, thank you. And the very first time I said that, they kind of did one of these, like they looked behind, like, who's he thanking? I said, I'm thanking you, Tom Sadowski. You're a customer. And when you come from private industry, it comes natural. You say, thank you for your business. And if you do a good enough job, they'll give you more business. So it's just part of how we've tried to approach things with thank you, because you're all customers. And see, I thought early on, when I came into the job, I Googled, how many businesses are there in Maryland? It said like 437,000. I said, well, this is a no-brainer. They're all customers. And if we approach from a commerce standpoint and throughout all the other agencies as we are, the fact that they're customers, it's really easy. It's real easy. A couple other thoughts just to share with you. I think culture is a big part of what we've tried to change. You know, when you come into an enterprise where the culture may not be the culture that you want, it's so important that you move quickly, because at the end of the day, the culture will drive so many of the actions. So when we came into this opportunity, January 21st, 2015, there were just things that we made part of our everyday emphasis. The first one was, as I said to people, you've heard me say it, yes. I mean, this morning I had a chance to run around a little bit, meet a lot of people. I probably ended up in a short period of time with about 7 or 8 business cards. Hey, Mike, I need your help on something. And I said, yes. And they said, is that it? I said, well, I know you're going to tell me what it is. I just want you to know that we're going to approach finding a solution. It's part of a culture. And I'll say anecdotally that 8 out of 10 times when I say yes, we come up with a solution. 9 out of 10, it takes a little bit longer. The 10th one, I say, sorry, can't help on that one. Can you give me an easier one? So yes has become part of the culture. Another part is attitude. A friend of mine's had an expression for many years. He says, it costs nothing to be nice. How simple is that? It costs nothing to be nice. It's an attitude. And when we first showed up, we did little things, like we had people answer the phone. Department of Commerce, how can I help you? Now, the problem was that they often hung up before we could get into the conversation. They thought they had the wrong number. They would call back and they'd say, we really are Department of Commerce, how can we help you? Or Department of Dollar, or Department of the Environment, or all the above. But attitude is a big part of the culture. Customer service. We started a real initiative December, a year and a half ago. We have a commerce cabinet made up of 7 agencies. Customer service was the very first opportunity and objective that we together as secretaries identified we wanted to change. At the first meeting, I had a book about Disney, and I said to the fellow secretaries, why can't we be Disney? Who said that we're supposed to be not nice to customers? Who said we're not supposed to be on time? Who said we're not supposed to be responsive? So customer service has caught on. Greg Durwart's here. Greg has become sort of the customer service czar. Governor Hogan had a press conference months after that where we laid out the customer service promise. We're not there yet, but we're really getting good. And I said from the beginning, I hope we can get to a place where 49 states are saying, I'm sick and tired of hearing that Maryland is like Disney World to customers. We're going to sneak into that place and find out. But that's where we want to be. So customer service is part of a culture if you're serious about the things that really matter. Just one other part about culture, and then I want to move on quickly. Culture, best is the standard. We created a strategic plan early on, and we titled it Best is the Standard. And all we really meant by that is whatever the objective is, there's about 6 big objectives. There's about 6 or 7 goals under each of them. The point is, be the best you can. Maybe we can't get to here, but if our best is here, then don't accept here. So it's part of a culture. Are we as good as we can be? And I think it's coming together, and it's spreading out throughout the whole state of Maryland as being the best. A couple other things to share with you. I've talked about great assets. I'm blown away. Ani Bombasu is part of today. He might be here now. When I came into the position, I'm a Maryland kid. I'm a Baltimore kid. I've spent my whole life around here. I thought I knew the state. I probably knew about this much of Maryland. I probably knew that much if I give myself the benefit of the doubt. And I said to Anibon, I think we got better assets in at least 40, 41 states. He said, Mike, I'd say 45 or 46. And I'm not even sure who the other 3 or 4 would be. We got great assets. Our natural resources are unmatched. Western Maryland, Deep Creek's pretty cool. Chesapeake Bay's pretty cool. Southern Maryland, the Eastern Shore, horse country, just the natural resource. As Arnie said, quality of life is part of the deal. We got a really great quality of life. Would I have really known the fact that our military bases represent about 350,000 jobs, $70 billion economic impact? There's 28 non-military federal government agencies in Maryland that all create the great state that we are, the university system that we have. If we get in the car and drive real fast that way, and we don't hit any of the red lights, but we maybe use the bus lane. I know Paul Comfort's here, but Paul, I cheat once in a while. So we use the bus lane. We can get over to Ron Daniels' place pretty quickly at Johns Hopkins. I can just walk and hoof it and knock on the door of Jay Perman's enterprise next door. That's a pretty good start when you talk about assets from an educational standpoint. And the governor's announcement today, which we'll hear a lot more about, is a really big deal. It's a big deal. We're great in cyber, we're great in life sciences, but the moment we start thinking we're number 1, we'll be number 2, we'll be number 3, and we'll fall off the face of the earth. This initiative that the governor is leading on is going to change the story behind life sciences, cyber, and all other things that we do. A couple more things quickly, because we got a great day ahead of you. I've said it once this morning, the expression, I said it about Arnie, the Marriott thing was so exciting. We all came together. They wanted to stay just like McCormick wanted to stay. We just had to demonstrate that we cared whether or not they stayed. And it wasn't just about, well, what can you do for me? Because for McCormick and Marriott, it's not about what can you do for me. It's about all those other things. But when I use that expression, economic development is a team sport, I say economic development is a team sport and a contact sport. You have to get on the field. You have to engage. You have to ask the customer, how can we help you? What can we do? And growth through retention. We all want new business. We want that shiny Fortune 500 that's not headquartered in Maryland today to come to Maryland. But you know how you really grow the economy? You take care of all the customers you currently have. You create an environment where businesses can be successful. You have capital sources of all kinds, so when they want to grow and expand, it's easy, and then you grow through retention. How hard is that? Growth through retention. And we're doing a great job of that in the state of Maryland. So that's why I say economic development's a team sport and a contact sport. And the last thing I want to just leave you with is, as far as just some of these themes, I started thinking about this the other day. Governor talked about more jobs for Marylanders, the bill that got passed. It's a great bill. It's focused on distressed counties. There'll be other jurisdictions that can benefit from it. It has some workforce initiatives into it, like Partnership for Workforce Quality. There is some, it's for manufacturing. There's some really attractive accelerated depreciation features, all that kind of good stuff. It's good stuff. But what I started thinking about is the fact that we have 24 jurisdictions in the state of Maryland. And they're not all equal. Caroline County is not Montgomery County. Allegheny is not St. Mary's. Baltimore County is not Wycomico. Some of the guys are really big and some are really small. I started thinking about baseball and 25-man rosters. And I started thinking, because I love baseball. We all know Manny Machado and Chris Davis and Adam Jones, but try to name the 6, 7, or 8 guys that are 18 through 25, and you can't. But guess what? If we're going to win a World Series, they've all got to play. And Caroline and Somerset and St. Mary's and Calvert and Allegheny, they're just as important as Montgomery, Prince George's, Baltimore, all the rest, Howard. I always talk about, I always talk about potential. Because you see, you might be one of the big guys, but if you're not playing to your potential, I'm disappointed. And you could be one of the little guys who only 35,000 people live in your county, and there's only 14,500 that have jobs. And a big deal is a company adding 15 jobs and 10,000 square feet onto a facility. But if that's their potential, I love that place. So you got to step up to your potential. Truly, the last couple things. Let me just double check. We're on schedule. And I talk often. I'm not going to get off here because I'm a Baltimore kid. I'm not leaving the stage without mentioning Baltimore. I've said probably 3 times this week at different things that we are going to be on the cover of Time magazine. I've said 2 years. I might want 3. It's going to say the Renaissance of Baltimore. And then it's going to go on as just describe the Renaissance. That this city, that in April 15 was so challenged, we're on the nightly news. I mean, we didn't know we were having all these problems until we turned on TV. It wasn't quite as bad, but on TV it looked like, what's going on? And you know what? It's going to make the story that much better when all of a sudden Baltimore. Mayor Pugh, Governor Hogan, they have a wonderful relationship. We're working closely with everyone. This is the ultimate economic development as a team sport. But Baltimore is going to be on the cover of Time magazine. And the last thing is I use the expression often. We're always trying to figure out how can we raise the bar at commerce on everything we're doing. And the expression that we use a lot is think bigger and go faster. Because if you're not, somebody else is, and they're going to pass you, and you'll be in the rearview mirror. But again, thank you. A couple last things. I'm done. I'm done on anything that has you kind of like, what's he talking about? Because I do leave sometimes after talking to a group of people, and I'll hear a couple people talking, and somebody will say, man, I really feel good. I don't know what the heck Mike said, but I feel good. That's okay. Hey, we do have a really, really, really big day planned. Lots of great topics about education, lots of great topics around workforce, lots of great topics about our great industries, life sciences, cyber. You've got your programs. We got the breakout groups starting at 10 o'clock. And then we'll look for everybody back in the room at 12. So everybody back here at 12. We got a great luncheon plan, another great panel. We got Esty who's going to just let us have it with everything cyber. Can't wait to hear, and it's great to see you again, Es. So we're all going to come back together at 12 o'clock. And we got John Harbaugh, end of the day, around 3. So Coach will be here. And have a great morning. See you at 12. Thank you.